Hello and welcome to Glitch Cube, we're a gaming podcast, and each week we take a deeper look into the art of video games. As always, I'm Christian.
And I'm Chris.
And welcome back, you guys, for another fun and exciting conversation as we dive more into the world of games. This week, we are going to be a little bit more lighthearted with our conversation. We haven't done this in a while where we've discussed games that we are either currently playing, currently excited about, or just curious about. You know, we've been doing a lot of research-heavy episodes, and we wanted to kind of simplify things. Obviously, we need a break.
Yeah.
Simplify things a little bit for ourselves, our brains, and just kind of let you guys know what is piquing our interest. As you know, we are big RPG guys, and we talk a lot about games of the past or games that are impactful in some way, like last week when we started our journey around the world, which we will be continuing. Do not worry, we are not abandoning that. We're just going to make sure that we have enough research in each area to make it as impactful as possible. So hence the more casual kind of free flow conversations like you're going to be hearing today. That's kind of where this is coming from, really. And yeah, I don't know. It's going to be fun because I feel like we haven't really, me and Chris have discussed about some games that we're interested in off mic. So it's going to be fun to discuss them on mic with you guys. So you can see what we're looking at, maybe games that you haven't even heard of or something that you've seen recently that you're curious about. And maybe you'll become more curious or more curiouser about it after our conversation. But anyway, why don't you dive into what's going on with you? We haven't done that in a while too, huh? Right?
That's true. We haven't really talked about what we've been doing.
Yeah, what's exciting? What's new? What's catching your eye? What are you loving on this week?
So for me, I'm still kind of continuing with my goal of trying to beat a certain amount of games this year. I'm trying to set for 44, and I'm at 7 right now. And, I'm trying to focus on like bigger titles this year because I felt like last year I focused on a lot of indie and stuff I kind of, put on the back burner. And, I noticed this year I've been playing a lot of newer games, which is kind of different for me. I like focusing on kind of older generations, but I think with some of the games that really stood out to me that I've beaten recently, it was Psychonauts 2, which I've talked about on a previous episode. I forgot how far ago it was, but it was like towards the beginning of the year. I beat a Jedi Fallen Order, which was really cool, and honestly, I really loved that game. I didn't think I would just because, it did seem kind of Dark Soulsy a little bit. And I was like, this seems difficult. But I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Some other ones that I beat was Mirror's Edge, which was a game I've always heard about but never played.
The wonderful parkour game. For those of you guys who were, I don't know, like 12?
Yeah.
Don't know what Mirror's Edge is? It's crazy to think how long ago that game came out because I love that game. It was such a cool idea. It was the first like parkour style video game out there. And it was all done first person, super rad, really like fun scenes. Now, I don't know how well it holds up. Maybe you can feed us in on that. But it was really an interesting topic. Now, of course, we see like crazy parkours and slides and stuff like that in a lot of games. Even Halo has it, right? Mm-hmm. But this was, I feel like this was a very pioneering video game when it came to movement. Like it showed us how versatile movement itself could be in a video game. But I guess, how does it hold up? What'd you think?
I think definitely for first person, it was pretty innovative, with the mechanics. There is a sequel to this. I haven't played it. I've heard it's very lackluster. But playing through this game, I played it on the Series X, so it has, the FPS, or it runs stable, basically. It was good. To me, I can tell at the time it came out, it must have been fantastic. Like, mind-blowing what they can do. Because I mean, the game looked pretty. It wasn't flashy, but it was clean, it was sleek, it did what it was there for, right? The parkour, very limited action. It was very puzzle based too, which I thought was really interesting. I wasn't really expecting that when I played it, but it was a good game. Just because of how popular it is, like, people will still bring the title up, as being kind of innovative.
Mm.
I think it'd be worth a playthrough for someone interested in it. Just don't go thinking like this is going to be the greatest game ever, because there's times you try to jump on something and your character won't grab it right, or it definitely feels a little dated compared to what we have now. Like, look at Dying Light. Even, Dying Light 2, like, to me, they kind of perfected first person parkour. It's, the grappling, everything about it is just like, that mechanic is perfect in it. Whereas going back playing Mirror's Edge, it's like, oh, this, it feels like a product of the time. Even though it was only 2 generations ago, that's enough of a jump to really feel the difference.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still fun to play, and it was a good break in between some of the other games I was playing, like Ori and the Blind Forest. And around this time, I played Enslaved, which was back from one of our earlier episodes.
Yeah.
And it was cool because, it was like, oh, I'm playing a 360 game and going to another. Like, it felt right, almost. It really felt like I was back in time. And I really enjoyed Enslaved more than I thought I would. I thought it was fun. And honestly, I love those kind of games from that generation, because I felt because there were so many, they all had to do something that made them stand out. And this game was like just beautiful. I feel like that was really the thing that stood out to me, was that the game was just pretty. But
especially now, like, looking back at how long ago that game was made, right? And like seeing the graphics now, like, that game, in my mind, it still holds up.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Those cutscenes are still look really, really good. Like, they did a really good job making the game itself.
From that generation, it's definitely one of the more like graphic intense. Like, that's good, and the gameplay still felt fresh. Like, it definitely feels like a game from that time, but not in a bad way, right? Like, it's definitely worth like a playthrough if you're trying to, play more games from that generation.
You know what I wanted to play through so bad after that episode? I don't think but I've brought it up before in like the show, but Asura's Wrath.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I wanted to play that game so bad. Like, for some reason, when I look at Enslaved, my mind instantly goes to Asura's Wrath right afterwards. Like, there's a weird connection there. I must have like played them around the same time, because like I want to replay that game so bad.
They're kind of, well, they're not totally similar, but they kind of are, at least like attitude wise, I feel.
Mm-hmm. That and El Shaddai for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one.
That's more like Enslaved. I have that game, but I don't have Asura's Wrath, but I've been like tempted to pick it up just because of what you were telling me about before, which sounded really badass. And then
it's a great like turn your brain off and just go kind of game.
Yeah.
It's one of those, like, if you need a break from, because like a lot of the games that are coming out now, like Dying Light 2, Elden Ring, all that stuff, these are huge games that you have to dedicate so much time to. Like, I kind of miss the era of like smaller, just like experience games like Asura's Wrath. Like, that game was just an experience game. It was something quick. It was badass. It was crazy. It was gritty. Like, it was a lot to take in. It was basically an anime video game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of miss those little bite-sized experiences, not gonna lie.
It's interesting you bring that up, because that's going to go into the next game I was going to talk about, which is the last game I've beaten. And I like that you bring that up, because for the longest time, I was a person that always wanted to play long games because I wanted my money's worth, right? If I'm spending $60, I better at least get 40 hours of playtime, right?
Yeah, minimum.
And like, I feel bad if I'm spending $40 on a 5-hour game. Like, it just feels weird. But Last of Us 2. Controversial game for many different reasons, how you look at it. I know a lot of people hated it because of the certain death that happens in it. That's not really a spoiler at this point. But, you know, a lot of people hate it because of the revenge part. They hate it because a character they loved died. You know, and for the longest time, I was like, I don't care about this game. Like, I didn't care about the first Last of Us. I thought it was overrated. Like, it was enjoyable, but I wasn't like a fanboy. And I was able to get this game for $10, and I was like, okay, well, that's a very beautiful game, you know, for $10. And I will say that, yeah, graphically, this game is gorgeous. Like, the world seems so real. Like, I don't think I've played a game where like the environment felt so real for the time, and the motion capture of the actors and actresses is so good. Like, it really looks like, you know, they captured every movement, you know. And I'm looking at Horizon Forbidden West, you know, the characters are like jittery, they're always animated, moving, and at times they do look real, but other times it just seems so weird seeing someone moving around aimlessly. Whereas in The Last of Us 2, they literally mimic as if it's a person, right? And I was so blown away by that. I'm like, wow, like, seeing that is what kept me through that game, and I actually ended up beating it. But going back to the time, the game took like over 20 hours to beat. Like, it was long. And I'm like, dude, I get they wanted to tell a serious story, right? They wanted to make it feel like a movie that you played, but there was so much of it that I'm like, why is this here? Like, just cut half of this out and get on with the story. Even though like every little segment you went into, there was always one part where I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense in the story. But it just annoyed me that the game was so long. Like, I wasn't bothered by all the other, you know, fanboys out there that got mad at the game. You know, they all think it's like social justice stuff, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't give a shit about that part of my language. For me, the game was just too damn long. But I don't regret playing it. Like, it did, the shooting did feel good. I thought it was interesting how in certain situations you kill someone and they like say their name. They're like, oh my God, you killed Adrian. Like, I'm going to kill you. Like, that form of realism was cool because when you're exploring the city, you find notes. And on some of these people you killed, those are notes they left in a totally different area. Right. So you're in one part of Seattle, you find a note from Bobby talking about how, you know, he joined like the Fireflies, stuff like that. And then, you know, 2 chapters later, you're in a gunfight and you kill Bobby, and people are like saying it. And it's like, oh my God, like, that was the guy from the note before. Like, little minor things like that was freaking cool. And I also thought it was interesting how animated they were. Like, when you shot somebody, like, there was a point where I was getting chased and I just straight up like took the shotgun and shot this dude leg, and his leg just flies off, and then he's crawling on the ground like yelling and shit. And I was like, dude, like, this feels real. Like, they're literally like still alive, but they're like maimed. And then you just, you know, you can obviously you shoot them again, they're dead, but it's like it felt really realistic in a weird way. Like, it almost was like realistic murder, but I mean, that's something different. But it was an interesting game, and I can tell it's not for everybody. I think for $10, it was good for $10. And I will admit that I think the reason I played it was for the virtual photography, which is something I'm really getting into nowadays. I love playing a game that's really nice and just taking photos in the game. And that game, it's apparent, like, the community is big, and that like I didn't realize people really were into virtual photography. And
I didn't even know that was a thing.
like you go on Twitter or Instagram and you just see people like taking in-game photos with the photo mode and stuff like that. And some of the stuff people capture is just beautiful. Like you see that and you're like, wow, this must have been posted by a game designer because they want people to buy their game. But it's like, no, this is a player who played this and was able to make this photo happen. Like, it's interesting how this is becoming a thing. But with that game, it was super easy to do that because the settings were just gorgeous, unlike any other like game I've played lately that has that graphical setting. But recently, within the past month, I think the few games that really stick out to me, and I'll go in order of when I've played them. First was Pokemon, Arceus or Arceus or whatever the fuck people say it.
Yeah, I beat that already.
Oh, you did beat it.
Yeah. Finally. Damn. I know, it took forever. That final fight was a lot harder than you expect.
Really?
Like, okay, yeah. There's the end of this like quote unquote story final fight where it's like every other battle and it's not that hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then if you go back to the area, like when you jump back into the game, they give you another quest to actually capture all the legendary Pokemon that you interacted with, and then you fight the real final boss. Actually, you have to do that twice, which is kind of annoying.
Twice?
Yeah, so you do all that, and then there's another final boss where you actually fight Arceus or whatever, and capture them. But you have to fill out your Pokedex 100% in order to get to that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so like there's the main story. There's the story plus where you catch all the legendaries and then you go fight the main legendary or the second to main legendary. And then you fill out your Pokedex 100% and then that unlocks the final boss. Like the true ending of the game.
The Pokedex 100%, does that mean you have to get each Pokemon to level 10 or do you just have to like get them recorded?
Check marks on everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's a little annoying. It's a lot.
Yeah, it does sound like a lot.
Yeah, that to me, like that became kind of a crawl after the fact.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I don't really want to do this because you can kind of speed through the main story of it completely, right? Like it's not that hard. The hardest part was the after the story boss. That was actually really hard. It was the first fight that I actually got KO'd in. I was like, oh shit, like, okay. And now I actually have to train a little bit, get these levels up, and then come back to this. And this is actually after trying out a team of all level 70 legendaries. Like I had a full team of all of them.
Wow.
And I still got my ass kicked. So I had to come back at level, like it was only like level 75, level 76. It wasn't like massive grinding, but it was enough to be like, oh yeah, this is Pokemon again, right? Like, like, so that was interesting, but it was fun. It was still fun. I do really appreciate the game. That was actually the last game that I really played, unfortunately. I have so many games that I want to play that are on my radar. I have a few things downloaded, but yeah, Pokemon was the last one I really, really dived into.
How long do you think it took you to beat it? 'Cause I'm curious, like getting all of that extra stuff at the end, like 50 hours or so?
I would probably say closer to 60.
Damn. Okay.
Because some of the Pokemon, remember, like, they don't spawn frequently, and to still have to, like, 100% everything, it's kind of annoying. So.
Yeah. I think I'm more than 50% done with that game. Like, I finished the volcano part. And
the Arcanine?
Yeah. I had just finished that. And that's kind of, I'm in the next area, with the climbing. But,
yeah, with Sneevil.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I stopped. Because then I was like, oh, I'm going to play, the next game, Horizon Forbidden West, which, I'm going to kind of keep these two short because I want to fill in some of the stuff you want to talk about. But long story short, if you like the first Horizon game, you'll probably like this game. To me, at least in the beginning, it doesn't feel like a different game at all. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. This is someone who platinumed the first game, really enjoyed it. the first third of the game, it literally felt like nothing really new. Like it felt more of the same, which, isn't a bad thing for a lot of people that enjoyed the first one. But then once you get past the starting area, more opens up and you're like, oh, this is cool. And then it just feels more like a typical open world game. You have your stuff thrown at you. You have different things you can do. And this is kind of, same old generic. And then I would say maybe halfway through the map, like my game progression total completion is like 38%. So I know I'm not halfway, but I know at the main story, I think I'm halfway. The game definitely picks up, and I really started enjoying it. Like, I'll be honest, it was kind of hard for me to like follow on with the game up to a certain point. I was like, God, this is more of the same. I'm getting bored. And then something just clicked. And there was a certain part, not just story based, but just gameplay based too, that I'm like, this is cool. Like, it made me want to explore more of the map. And, certain things you do see the differences later. Like, I like that the collectibles kind of have a meaning where, you see your hard work later on with differences. And there's a lot to do. And the world seems full, which is also really cool because a lot of open world games don't really feel like that, right? Like you have your hubs and that's it. This game has so many different like robots thrown around different parts of the map. It's just interesting. And I kind of wish I didn't start Elden Ring because I really want to keep playing it and like explore more. But I think also a break is good because I was starting to get burnt out on it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's, it's a pretty game. It does have its buggy problems here and there. And, Aloy talks too much and she moves too much. But aside from that, the game is fun. I say if you like the first game, play this one. It really feels more of the same. And other than that, I started playing Elden Ring yesterday. And, like everybody else seems to be doing, I like it. As someone who is not a huge Souls fan, nor a huge Breath of the Wild fan, I'm enjoying
controversy.
this. I know. It's like two huge things that everyone adores, but, I like both, but I wouldn't be like die on a fucking soapbox to defend it. But, this game's cool. I feel like what it's done to a Souls-like game and making it more open definitely makes it more interesting. And as someone who really likes more fast-paced stuff, this game is definitely, I think, suited more towards me. The world, it feels like Breath of the Wild, where, there's certain pockets where there's enemies around and people and things to explore, which is cool. There definitely is little things to see, but it still has that Dark Souls difficulty. And when I first played it, I would say the first hour, I was kind of like, this is a mistake. I shouldn't have bought this. I'm not really into this. And then today I played another like hour and a half and I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I bought this because I feel, and this isn't a spoiler because it happens so fast. When you get your horse, it almost changed the game for me. It felt like less like a Souls game and felt more of just an action RPG because you're not just clunking around everywhere. You can ride your horse, smack enemies with it, hightail out of there. There's spirits you can summon to be around you in certain areas, and it's cool. Like it's a fresh breath in a genre that I feel is overdone. I mean, I don't want to compare it to a lot of other open world games like, say, Horizon, which is more of that typical Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed kind of open world, since other than Breath of the Wild, there's not that many games where it's like this choose your own path kind of game. But whereas Breath of the Wild felt almost God, what's the term for it? Overwhelmed
Hmm.
with what to do and where to go. This game, though it has it, it almost makes me afraid. And I think that's something I haven't really felt in a game in a long time, aside from playing, typical horror games. But I'm fearful of going to certain areas because I'm like, oh my God, that guy's like triple my size. Like, I don't want to fight him, So I like
Right.
run to a different thing. And I'm like, I haven't felt that way in a game. You think of Breath of the Wild. Yeah, you saw one of those Lionels or whatever the hell they're called. And like, you would freak out. You'd be like, oh shit, like that thing is going to kill me quick. In this game, it's like, you don't know what's going to kick your ass. Like, even the smallest things can still hit you pretty hard. And, I don't know though. So far, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm not that far into it, but I'm looking forward to it. And I mean, it sucks because there's so many good games coming out this month, next month, and it's just it's overwhelming, And I'm like, I need to beat these 2 games before I buy anything else. I mean, that's
Good
what
luck
I'm
with
trying to tell
Elden Ring
myself.
because supposedly it's like over 100 hours.
Yeah, I'm like, I hate to say it because I feel like this is my problem with Souls games. I'll play them and then I'll get distracted and then it's hard for me to go back. And I feel like with this game, this would be the worst game to do that. But I don't know, dude. Fucking Triangle Strategy comes out next month, which was one I was super hyped for. I know there was a couple others that are coming out next month too, but this year has a lot of good games. I know we're going to talk about this eventually about some of the new indie games that are coming out, but I want to find out with you what have you been up to?
I've been doing a lot of crazy stuff at work, honestly. So work has been, I feel like I'm back in school mode where I was making a lot of things, but not playing a lot of things. Right. And so I'm kind of like falling back into that trap. But I mean, like, it is important right now. Like, I'm starting this new position. It's still fresh. It's only been a couple months. And the more information I'm getting about the position, the more tasks I guess I have, right? Where now my boss is telling me that everything that I'm writing down, and the reason why he's making me write so much lately is that it's going to be used as manager tools for me to train other branches of San Diego to run these programs too. So
Wow.
he let me know the other day. He's like, by the way, you know that you are the spearhead of this, right? Like, you are going to be the one running all of this and making sure that all the Ys are on the same page and they're able to accomplish these programs successfully. And I was like, oh shit.
Damn.
Right? It's a lot. It's super exciting. So like, I've been playing around a lot with scratch coding, which is super fun, designing different curriculums and games for kids to play and learn how to program. And I've actually been diving a lot into Minecraft lately because we are starting up a Minecraft course. I know, sounds weird, right? Minecraft course. Ooh, that sounds boring. But no, what we're doing is basically like a Minecraft club where they're going to be playing either virtually or in person, right? And so they'll have that like collaboration effort as well, as far as working with someone across the world or whatever it may be. And I'm creating these little projects for them to do. And I'm just thinking about what the server is going to look like a year from now once we keep building and keep filling it with all of these things. It's just really, really exciting stuff. And yeah, I'm just having a blast doing it. Like, I haven't gone to work upset. I haven't gone to work in a bad mindset. I've just gone to work and started playing, and it's just really, really fun. It's just a lot to take in. And
Yeah.
it's crazy to think about like how serious of a position I have when it feels like I'm just playing. And it's so great to have that feeling again. But bring it back to video games real quick. There are a couple games that I have on my radar. I just downloaded the demo to Triangle Strategy. Again, I played the original demo, loved it because it was something crazy different. And now I'm so excited to play through the demo again to see how far it's come, because I've heard that they've done some pretty big changes. And for those of you who don't know what Triangle Strategy is, it's a tactics-based game, but it's heavily diplomatic focused, I guess is the right way to put it. It's
choice based.
choice based. Yeah, think like Octopath Traveler, but like choice based and just more, right? Like tactics too. So I don't know. There's a lot to this game. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I'm super excited to play it. But one game I actually was playing a couple days ago was Earthbound because they put Earthbound on the Switch. I was like, oh sweet! Like I just opened it up real quick, and I totally forgot that they put that on there. I was like, oh yeah, I'll start this up again. That's cool. So started playing through that a little bit. Really excited to continue playing through that one because I love the fact that it's on the Switch and it's on like Virtual Console, right? So I can just kind of hop back in whenever I want to. So that's a really nice touch, and it's making those kind of games much more approachable, which I absolutely love, and I'm just really, really excited about it. But those are kind of like the two games that are really, really big on my radar right now. I've watched a lot of footage of Dying Light 2, and it looks really cool, but I don't know if I want to pick it up and play through it. Same thing with Elden Ring. Like I probably will pick it up eventually, but everything I see on it, it just looks like a really pretty Souls game, right? And
yeah,
to me, like what ends up happening to me when I play Souls games is like about after the 15 to 20 hour mark, I'm kind of over it. And I don't like there's not enough. I think this is a great game as far as, remember our discussion on story and gameplay. I feel like Souls games are great games to argue that there needs to be some sort of narrative in the game, right? For me at least, or for players like me who need something to keep them coming back, right? The same thing happened with me with Breath of the Wild, where it was a lot to take in. There's a lot of really cool stuff, but after a while it's like, okay, I'm kind of over it, right? And I tried to pad it out, and that was probably the mistake I made, where I was going through all the temples and I was trying to do the house building stuff and just really like try and find ways to keep myself interested in the title. But I was never able to fully like dive in, which is unfortunate because it is a really great game. I'm not denying that. It's one of the greatest games made, but it just doesn't grab my attention for an extended period of time. The way that, like, for instance, Final Fantasy 12 did, right? Like that game hooked me, and it was all the stats and everything that was going on. Like that was really interesting to me. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of where my mind is at right now. There's a few like little games that I've been perusing, like Rogue Tower is a great indie game that's out right now. It's a tower defense rogue like game. And it's pretty cool because like the way that the world generates, it's like tiles, right? So tiles with different paths, and you pick which direction you want your path to continue on, and then enemies come in hordes depending on where the path is, and you have to put down different like ballistas and mortars and stuff like that to defend your tower. And it's a pretty cool, fast-paced, like low impact kind of game. But one of the things that I was talking to a coworker today, I had to go into work on a Saturday. I usually just work Monday through Fridays, but I went into work on Saturday to help out with the basketball league. And I've never met this guy before. We started chatting a little bit. Turns out that he's really big into D&D and Magic the Gathering. So I was like, oh, cool. We have something to talk about that's not basketball, because that's what I was worried about. And apparently he was letting me know that Street Fighter actually did a collaboration with Magic the Gathering recently. And the cards look awesome. Like they're super, super cool. So like you can actually add characters like Ryu, Chun-Li, Guile, freaking Zangief, Blanca. Like they all have cards now that you can add into your decks, which is super cool. Like they even have E-Honda. Like that's rad, right? So
that is really cool.
And they're all foil cards. There's even a basic, there's a spell card for Hadouken. So like if you don't want to put in these characters, because some of them, their color combinations are a little weird when it comes to Magic, right? As far as like building a deck around it so that you can actually use them. And just being able to just throw out a Hadouken is pretty cool. Like that just sounds really fun. So I don't know. My mind is everywhere right now. Like I'm feeling very scatterbrained when it comes to gaming because I'm having a lot of interest pop up, but there's nothing that's like I need to play it right now. I'm enjoying the exploration phase, I guess I can say, where I'm having a lot of fun exploring these titles by learning about them, whether it's digital or hard, like actual like cards, right? For Magic the Gathering. Like it's just really fun doing the research on it. But I guess at the same time, like I don't feel like I need to play it to get the enjoyment out of it, if that makes sense.
No, it
So
does.
it's been a lot of fun. So right now I feel like I'm in a very heavy exploration phase rather than play phase. And I think that I'm just stockpiling a bunch of stuff so that whenever I do get into that play phase, I'm just ready to go and dive in head first. And I'll just have a bunch of stuff to go through. Like for instance, the Next Fest in Steam, like that is going on right now. And there's a ton of really cool titles that are, piquing my interest, but I haven't dived in super far into any of those, but I definitely have a lot on my list that I do want to check out. And there's some really, really cool stuff. Like, the Wandering Village seems really interesting. It's another one of those that I feel like it's not going to be taking my life over, which is nice. It's just going to be something that I'll play every once in a while. So there's a lot of stuff like that where like I feel like if there's a game that I'm going to play, it needs to be something that I can easily hop in and out, but get a great experience out of it. Like, I don't know if I can dedicate hundreds of hours to something right now in this point of my life.
Yeah, it's, you bring up Next Fest, and I know we had stuff on it before because I think they do it every season. But, like, I've been trying to find smaller little bite-sized pieces, and I think there's a lot of good smaller games coming out soon that are going to be interesting. But with Next Fest, there was a few that I found that were really interesting, and because I know sometimes when Next Fest ends, which is on the 28th, they take a lot of the demos down. So I just downloaded a bunch of them just in case and installed them. But yeah, like you said, Wandering Village looked really cool. I'm really interested in Small Saga, where you are a mouse and you try to survive, cats. And to me, it looks like one of the better RPGs shown off at Next Fest. And I feel like for some reason it's not really getting like a whole lot of view time, at least from people I've watched that is looking at these kind of games. But I think that might be the game I'm most interested in. Jack Move looks pretty good. Seems like
Catboy. Yeah.
Seems everyone's interested in that Nobody survival game, which looks kind of cool. There's a lot of, every Next Fest, there's always really interesting indie titles that like, usually they're pretty early access, right? They're in beta stage. Sometimes they're in alpha stage. Like you don't expect to see these games until probably next year. I remember when we did Next Fest stuff last time, there was a game I played Unsighted, and then a few months later it came out like full. And it was really cool, being able to play a game kind of early. But I don't know, back in the day I didn't like playing these games like preview builds and early builds, because I'm like, I just want to play the full game. But it's cool seeing these things kind of grow from when you first played it. And nowadays, anytime Next Fest happens, I just watch. Like, I watch like all the news about it, because I feel like a lot of these indie games are doing new things, and you won't see these kind of things in a AAA game. You probably won't even see these games at like, E3 or, Summer Game Fest, stuff like that. Like, these are smaller indie titles, but sometimes they get blown up, and it's cool. I feel like more people should know these games, should see them, and I don't know, I'm always excited every time it pops up.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of simulation games coming up pretty soon here,
Yeah,
especially on the Next Fest thing. So that's going to be interesting. Simulation games are going to be taking over the world.
it already feels like they are, but yeah, you're right. Like, I feel like for better or for worse, simulation games are getting bigger. And sometimes I feel like they're so in depth that they could be used at like a job where people can learn how to do stuff. But some of them are also pretty bare and, typical game. But it is interesting how there's like becoming a simulation game for everything. And I don't think we've done an episode on that. And I know we were talking about that a long time ago, but I think it'd be kind of fun to dive into why these kind of simulation games are getting popular.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, and actually, one other thing that we've been doing that I think needs to be shined on is we actually did a collaboration with Genre Geeks.
Oh,
and we guested on their show. We talked about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We've talked about the first one so far, the one from 1974, the original, in lieu of the release of the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre that is now out on Netflix. We will be working with them again and discussing the new one as well whenever time permits. There's been some scheduling conflicts, but that's okay. These things happen. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. And if you guys want to hear our take on movies, specifically horror movies, you go over to Genre Geeks and give that a listen, because it was a really fun one to record. Those guys are crazy.
Yeah, I had fun.
Yeah, that was a really good one. So we're excited about that. And we're excited about future collaborations too, because we've been slowly reaching out to more and more podcasts out there. And there are some people who have expressed interest in working with us. And we are super jazzed for that in the future. So just trying to build that community, expand things out like we've always said we wanted to. And it seems like it is finally coming to fruition, which is really, really cool. That is actually really exciting. That needs to be shared. So. But yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, if you are interested in collaborating with us, just make sure to not sound like a bot. I'm so tired of people like messaging DM for promotion or collab DM. It's like, fuck you. Like, you know, I like
yeah, make it real.
If you're interested, you know, just sound real at least.
Put a little bit of effort into it. Maybe like 2 sentences.
Yeah.
More than 3 words. That's probably a good idea.
Exactly.
Because we get so many of those dumb messages which I'm sure a lot of content creators get that, right? It's like, oh, hey, DM for collab. And then you open it up and it's this long spiel of like collaboration with my women's activewear. It's like, like I am so tempted to like message them and say, oh, we'd love to, so that they can send us samples of women's activewear and we wear that crap just to really like mess up their page and their algorithm. But anyway, that would be pretty
a good
fun,
idea.
right? I mean, shoot, free money. Anyway. I think that's going to do it for us this week. This has been a very mellow, relaxed, chill kind of episode where we just are discussing some games that have piqued our interest over the last few months. Something that we don't do a lot of, but it's fun. It's nice to have kind of like a breather episode every once in a while. And next week, we will be discussing some more games out there, exploring further into the world itself of games as art, as storytelling tools, as preservation tools, as whatever the hell you want them to be, because that's what games are, and that's what makes them amazing. But anyway, thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for all of the support. Thank you for all the love out there. And yeah, we'll catch you all next week. Bye.
Bye.